Hi everybody, I'm just going to explain a little bit about the National Math Art Competition that is hosted by our university. People tend to think that maths and art is a new thing or a new idea that we're bringing about, but it was actually already initiated by so many of the scientists and a lot of the people that come through the ages. Our math art competition, there's so much maths in art and there's a lot of art in maths. With this competition, we want kids to explore this and become creative. The focus is to represent maths in an artistic manner, in other words, to create a beautiful drawing using mathematics. The important dates that you need to take note of: the competition started on the 2nd of March, which was this past Friday, and it closes on the 3rd of May. The entries must please reach us before the 3rd of May. CASME is helping us as collection or drop-off points. On the posters that you will receive this afternoon, there will be dates or there will be addresses to where you can take your entries, and we please ask you to make sure that they're there at least a week beforehand so that we can post them off. We're going to exhibit our entries on the 18th of May to the 8th of June at the Art Gallery in Port Elizabeth. This is just after that they have been judged. The Art Museum, a beautiful old building in Port Elizabeth, and then also we will have localized prize givings in the different areas, but those dates we will communicate later. The prize giving in Port Elizabeth for the top winners will be on the 25th of May, which is a Saturday. We also want to say that we're very excited that we have been invited to once again also show the top 40 entries at a National Bridges Conference in Linz in Austria during July. But we're also going to exhibit the entries at the Design Festival in October in Cape Town. So I think the kids are going to have a lot of exposure due to this competition. Our two categories are man-made designs and maths in nature. Just a little bit of an explanation of what we can think of round about man-made designs. In this category, we're looking for maths and designs created by humans. In other words, everyday objects such as buildings, bridges, vehicles, logos, cultural symbols, decorations, etc. I think the big thing is just to have a look around at what you can see, at all the man-made things. Here are a few examples of maths made or designs in ethnic patterns, a few designs in, for example, buildings using the Taj Mahal using the golden ratio. One of our entries right on the far right was a Basotho mask that was entered by one of our students last year. Also in buildings, there's a lot of beautiful artwork in creating beautiful patterns, and then of course a lot of mathematics in triangular shapes and the strengthening of structures, etc. If one looks at designs and logos of different companies, then there's also a lot of maths. Maths in nature, of course, is one of the most beautiful things to look at. The artworks must explore the relationship between nature and maths. For example, mathematical patterns in flowers, animals, mountains, etc. Once again, we want to encourage the kids to have a look around them. If one looks at nature, the beautiful designs in shells, in plants, on the bottom there, the uncurling of a fern leaf, and then of course in snowflakes. Another examples here on the left-hand side at the bottom. That beautiful drawing was submitted by one of our prize winners in last year's competition. He named it the Sacred Aloe. And I'm sure you'll recognize, first of all, the grade 11 Euclidean geometry theorem, as well as a beautiful aloe design. And then once again, the aloe is so important for the Eastern Cape people, and in his paragraph, he explained how he linked it all together. Lots of beautiful patterns in nature. Fractals, for example, is another thing. And here are a few designs of pictures that we found on the internet that can inspire the learners to have a look at the beautiful designs. The learners may use materials, for example, recycled materials to make their paintings. They make drawings and paintings using pens, pencils, paint, and then they can also use a little bit of origami. However, one must make sure that on the entries that the learners do not make their entries too thick. We only allow entries of about 2 centimeters thick, and everything that they attach must be very securely attached to their artworks, because during judging as well as when we exhibit them, they're going to hang, and we wouldn't like parts of the exhibits to fall off. Now, kids always ask, how do I enter? Very easy. We get an entry form at the school, and if you haven't received one yet at your school, please contact us at mathart@mandela.ac.za, and we will email you a form as soon as we can. Then the next step, of course, is they must actually do the artworks, and then they must hand it in with the entry form, and there are a few questions that they must answer connecting or concerning the link between their artwork and maths, as well as what motivated them to take part. We want to ask the teachers at the school to please coordinate the entries at your school and either courier them to us at GMMDC at Nelson Mandela University in Bird Street Central, Port Elizabeth, or make use of one of the CASME drop-off points. And of course, if you want to come and visit us and deliver it to us personally, great, we'd love to see you here. On the entry form, very important, the learners must please make sure that they complete all the parts so that we can get hold of them, and the prize winners as well. Also quite important is their date of birth, and then a name and a contact name of a parent or a guardian. Very important, artwork title, which category did they enter it into, and then the 2 schools categories, grade 8 and to 9 or grade 10 to 12. Also, please, we'd like to have the teacher's contact number and details. If we can't get hold of the learners, then we'd like to contact the teachers. We also have a prize for the school with the most entries, and therefore we'd like to encourage you to encourage your learners and make use of this opportunity. For the questions, please, only 1 paragraph on each. The questions: which math did you use? How does your drawing link to the category or the theme? What makes your artwork unique? Why did you choose this topic? Which source or references did you use in designing your artwork? The artwork requirements: it must of course be 2-dimensional. A4 to A2, that does not mean it has to be rectangular, it could be square as well, but please no smaller than an A4 page and no bigger than A2. Relief work is allowed, but no more than 2 centimeters thick, and please no names of learners or schools in the front of the artwork. The entry form, as well as the paragraphs with answering the questions, must be securely glued to the back of the artwork, and all parts on the front must please be glued securely as well. There are just a few examples, but I'll leave that to the PDF of how kids can actually, and I think one needs to lead them a little bit in how to answer a question or to explain how they use the maths. So 2 examples in the PDF. The judging criteria, we're going to look at what level of experimentation and new mathematical ideas that they use, the creative use of maths, the message or the meaning of the work, how complete is the work. In other words, did they actually intend to do a lot more but didn't finish it? And then the most important category, the originality of the work. Very important, it must not be copied from the internet or somebody else. And what we found was that learners often don't understand the concept of copying. They think if they change something slightly, then it's not copying.